winter storm warning continues across all of Kentuckiana, and now we're looking at the development of some heavy snow. We'll have the very latest on how much you can expect coming up.
Mother Nature shows us it's not spring just yet. With another dose of rain, sleet, and snow, we have team coverage of the conditions in Kentuckiana.
It's just ridiculous. I'm so sick of it.
If we thought we were alone with the winter weather, we are not. It will soon threaten much of the Northeast, how they're already preparing. And 2 years ago, tornadoes were the big story, devastating communities in our area. How people in Henryville are remembering the unforgettable day.
From Louisville, WDRB News at 10 starts now.
Hello and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tamara Evans. From rain to sleet and snow, we have seen it all today. We have team coverage of this winter weather event for you. WDRB's Valerie Chin is in Elizabethtown and Lindsay Allen is in the Louisville metro area. But first, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Mark Weinberg at the Weather Center. He has the very latest on what we are seeing now. Mark.
Well, it's crazy to think that 2 years ago we had the massive tornado outbreak. And before we jump in, I just want to kind of mention here, we're thinking back on you. Everybody was hit by the March 2nd tornado 2 years ago, including Pekin, Palmyra, through Borden, through Henryville, Chelsea. Remembering you all a couple years later. With that said, we move on to what is a day that is very, very different, where we're dealing with a lot of winter in our area. And what we're seeing is a transition from the sleet to the snow, and this is where things are going to go downhill. Jeremy Capel is outside here, and Jeremy's been kind of monitoring live what's going on outside. Jeremy, has the transition from the sleet to snow occurred in downtown yet?
Yeah, it is transitioning as we speak, Mark. In fact, I would say mainly snow. There's still a little bit of sleet mixing in. I can feel it against my cheek, but what an unbelievable change we have seen over the last 24 hours. Yesterday at this time, we were up into the 50s. We topped out at 57 yesterday. I'm showing 24 with moderate sleet and snow falling right now. Obviously, the roads are already covered with sleet and snow, and as that heavy snow band makes its way into the area, travel will only get worse from here. Mark?
Well, Jeremy, when you started out there, you had dark hair, and now it looks like you're going gray. So obviously, we've got the transition occurring here. Let me show you what we've got for the advisories here. We have a winter storm warning that covers basically our whole area, and this is a good winter storm warning and needs to be placed. We have, again, every county in our area in this winter storm warning. Now, look at the temperatures nosediving. It's 18 in Bedford, 21 Lanesville, 23 Shelbyville, 26 in E-Town. And what this has allowed is the transition to snow to occur. We've got moderate and very heavy snow occurring now in parts of Henry County. From LaGrange into downtown Louisville, we've got snow, not super heavy at this point right now, but it's going to pick up. We've got snow continuing Paoli, English, moderate and heavy snow right now occurring in the Corridon area. The sleet right now in Litchfield, Munfordville, Magnolia, Campbellsville, Greensburg, and Lebanon is extremely heavy. This is going to make for very slick conditions in Springfield, in Willisburg, and Columbia still in the mix between rain, freezing rain, and the sleet. Now, what you're going to notice is to our west, we've got problems. It picks up, and there is a lot of it coming out of Missouri and in our direction. And this is what's going to produce the accumulating snow tonight. We're going to talk about how much ice to expect and how much snow to expect in your area coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, Mark, thanks so much. And there are already some schools that have closed for tomorrow. You can find those right now at the bottom of your screen and throughout the rest of this newscast. Meanwhile, WDRB's Valerie Chin joins us from Elizabethtown with the weather conditions there.
Kentucky State Police Post here in Elizabethtown, where there is freezing rain and it is sleeting very hard. Take a look at how it's gathering on my jacket. It's coming down pretty good, these small little ice pellets. The roads here are very slick. I'm also standing on some rocks that are very slippery, but you can see how the ice is just glazed over and these rocks are just frozen. You can't even pull them out very well. And take a look at this bush. It is completely frozen over in just a short amount of time. You can just tell how cold it is and how the sleet is hitting it. Here are the flags of the Kentucky State Police Post that are waving, but they are full of ice and just kind of draping over in the wind. And on I-65 north and south, semis seem to be going just fine. The interstate is very wet. Kentucky State Police say very few accidents have been reported so far, which is good news. They say most of the accidents reported in have come from Breckinridge County. We'll have another update at 10:30 in Elizabethtown. Valerie Chin, WDRB News.
And a bit closer to home, the roads are also getting slick outside. WDRB's Lindsay Allen joins us live from Bardstown Road in the Watterson Expressway in Louisville. And Lindsay, what are you seeing right now?
Well, and Tamara, I'm not even sure what this is that is falling right now. If you can see, I don't know if it's still the sleet or we've made the transition to snow. Whatever it is absolutely sticking on the road here at Bardstown Road. You know, this is a pretty heavily traveled main thoroughfare, and it is completely covered with this slush of ice and sleet that we've been seeing so far, making things pretty slick. We have seen the salt trucks been going by. They've been putting down what we're hearing is the second pass throughout the city at this point. They have not had their plows down getting any of this off the road. They're just salting at this point. You can see we have a vantage point of the Watterson Expressway from where we are. Things moving just fine. I did hear from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, though, that they are concerned about how fast some drivers are going. The road has been heavily salted on the interstate, but there are still some of those slick spots, and they've had a couple of problems with people running into the guardrail or the concrete median in the middle. So just a word of caution to take it easy there. We've been talking to drivers out here tonight who tell me that they've seen some problems. It is slick out there.
All the side roads down Goldsmith and down Hikes Lane are all slick. All the neighborhood roads are slick, of course, but yeah, it's pretty slick out there.
How do you handle this?
Drive slow, try to stay off my brakes and stay off the gas. Kind of try to just coast the whole way.
I have to stay safe tonight, yeah.
Unfortunately, we're getting all too used to driving in this stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I call it Louisville, Illinois.
Yeah, it feels like Illinois or Minnesota, maybe. We do want to let you know that LG&E crews are on standby tonight. They are prepared to deal with any power outages for any of the icing that could accumulate. Of course, the salt truck's out tonight. Red Cross on standby, but you know the drill. We are used to this by now. If you don't need to be out on the roads, don't. Try to stay inside. If you do have to be out, take it nice and slow. We'll have another update for you at 10:30, but for now, reporting live on Bardstown Road, I'm Lindsay Allen, WDRB News.
Some great advice. Thanks so much, Lindsay. And we will be up early tomorrow morning to keep you up to date on the latest weather conditions here in Kentuckiana. You can join us an hour earlier tomorrow morning from 4 to 9 for WDRB in the morning. And you can also get the latest weather alerts, school and business closings and delays on your phone. Just head over to WDRB.com and click on Snow Fox Alerts.
About everybody here kind of knew what to expect today here. As meteorologists, we kind of get a little nervous when we're waiting for that transition to occur. We've kind of seen sleet, we've seen freezing rain, and we've seen snow, and you've seen some of those pictures from around the area. Yeah, absolutely, and as we have seen here downtown, we are beginning to transition into only snow. This picture submitted just a short time ago through our WDRB weather app. This is Callie Montgomery, her backyard there in Louisville. You can see the snow coming down, a snow-covered patio there in her backyard as well. And elsewhere across Kentucky, and of course, before we did transition to snow, much of the area did see some freezing rain. And this was the case down in Lebanon, Kentucky. It did glaze up this car pretty good. We've had reports of a tenth to as much as a quarter inch of ice across portions of Kentuckiana. And then Kathy Wilkinson from Palmyra also showing the scene out near her. You can see the snow coming down pretty good also on top of that ice here this evening. And of course, we do continue with that winter storm warning, Mark. That goes until 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, and you know, we're kind of in that phase where things are really going to start to deteriorate across our area. When you look right now around our area, you can see this solid transition zone where everything really north of E-Town is in a snow or sleet mix. And then when we get to Louisville North, our dual polarization radar, which can actually see what kind of particles are falling, indicate that right along 64 North, we're transitioning now to all snow. And that snow's heavy right now from Oldham County, LaGrange, Crestwood. We've got moderate and heavy snow continuing in Newcastle, Crothersville through DuPont, moderate and heavy snow in the metro. Jeremy was outside here earlier. Jeremy, from a radar standpoint, I'm not seeing anything that says anything other than snow still for downtown. No, it's just about all snow at this point. We saw that transition when I was outside a short time ago. Looks like it may be lightening up a little bit, but obviously a lot more coming. I agree with that. And when you continue along and looking around the rest of the area, you can see this heavy band of snow that's picking up, like Jeremy mentioned, from Paoli through Jasper and Ferdinand. This is heavy snow. We dive off to the south, still moderate and heavier sleet and snow from Hardinsburg. It's very heavy sleet right now from Litchfield, moving along 62 into E-Town, from Magnolia, Hodgenville, and Greensburg, Campbellsville north to Springfield. We continue with this moderate sleet, and then as we go southward to Columbia, this is the area where we've got the mix still still occurring. That's a freezing rain, a sleet, and a rain combo here. Now, our current temperature right now is at 25, and winds are out of the north at 17. So what does that mean? Well, first, it means the wind chill's really cold. But look at what that's pulling southward. 17 from Bedford, 20 from Austin, 25 in E-Town, 29 in Munfordville. And look at the wind chills behind this front. It's 10 below zero right now in St. Louis. 14 below zero in Des Moines. So we've got this Arctic front draped across the area. We are in all snow, and you can see advanced track at midnight, at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4 continues to show snow, and then this first band exits. So that gives Louisville about 5 to 6 hours of accumulating snow, and some of it could be quite heavy at times. Then what comes across the area is what we call a deformation zone. And what you'll notice is along the parkways and south, you get the heaviest snow out of this second band for tomorrow morning, which lasts through about noon and then shuts down, and then in the afternoon, we don't get much of a rebound. So in this weather, let's talk about what kind of ice accumulates. Now, I want to first define, when I say ice, I'm not referring to sleet. I'm talking about the stuff that sticks on things. Up to 1/4 inch. I think the icing is done for areas north of E-Town. Now, Campbellsville through Columbia, 1/2 to 1/4 inch of ice. Now, that covers the ice. We still need to cover the snow amounts, and we're going to do that in about 5. 19 degrees with the sleet transitioning to the snow is a 100% chance. Our winds are north at 10 to 20, and it is going to be really, really cold for tomorrow morning. The afternoon comes in at 24 degrees, decreasing clouds late with a north wind at 10 to 15. And over the next 3 days, it'll be quiet on Tuesday with a high of 29 after a very cold start at 10. And Wednesday, 42 degrees. Now, Jeremy and I have been going through the snowfall accumulations. We feel like a 6 to 10 inch snowfall is going to be necessary for part of the area. We'll tell you if you're the one that should expect 6 to 10 inches coming up in about 5 minutes.
Just when we were hoping, I was hoping at least, we were through with the sleet and snow, it makes a return. Chief Meteorologist Mark Weinberg, Jeremy Kappel here with the very latest on what's going on outside. Well,
what we've kind of done here tonight is try to give you an idea of what we're seeing outside. Jeremy, you've been covering the outside. You're going to take a step outside and let us know what's going on again outside in Louisville. We expect to see a lot of gray hair from Jeremy. It's been a long winter here. And here's what we have for the advisories in effect. Jeremy's going to step outside. He's going to give us a live update here in just a moment on what we're seeing downtown. We still have a winter storm warning. This covers our entire area through 1 p.m. tomorrow. Now, just so you know, winter storm criteria is 4 inches or more of snow in a 24-hour period, which I think we're going to get. Now, looking around the area, the sleet and snow line is trying to inch its way back towards Louisville, and we got some reports out of Audubon Park that we're seeing just right now, some sleet that's falling here. We've got this moderate area of snow that's continuing from LaGrange through Newcastle, Crothersville, Scottsburg, Henryville, DuPont, North Vernon, Seymour, Bedford. You're all seeing moderate snow. In Louisville right now, we've got pockets of moderate snow continuing. Again, trying to watch that little band come a little bit further to the north. Now, what's in Paoli and Jasper is very heavy, and that's moving off to the east. It's going to get into our area. A mix from Hardinsburg of heavy sleet and heavy snow. We're mixing with sleet and freezing rain from Munfordville and Hodgenville. All sleet right now from Springfield and Lebanon, and some of it's very heavy. And then as we go to Columbia, we still have that mixed zone between freezing rain, and sleet. Now, in motion here, what you see to the west is a large area of heavy snow that's developed. And this is, unfortunately, still has to move in our direction, and it is a very large area of snow that's moving in our direction. Now, Jeremy, I promised you, is going to step outside. Jeremy, you're back outside downtown Louisville. What are you seeing right now?
It's all snow right now, Mark. I don't feel any sleet at all. You look at it, it's a fine snow. Flakes aren't too large, but it is coming down moderately. As we showed you earlier, the roads are snow covered here downtown, and it's beginning to really accumulate. Since we were out here earlier, I would estimate we've thrown about 1/4 inch of snow on the ground. And that wind's also picking up out of the north. I'm showing a air temperature of 23 degrees right now, Mark, with a wind chill of 10.
Jeremy, and that's kind of what we're seeing here as well. We appreciate that report from outside. Jeremy's going to join me back here in the weather office before we finish. 23 is our temperature. Jeremy's right, though, that wind chill down around 10 with a north wind at 14. Our area is cooling quickly with that northerly wind. Our southern counties still near freezing, and that's the area here that's going to be dealing with a really major sleet storm. Now, we continue the snow pressing across the area. Louisville, it looks like through around 4 or 5. Then we wind a little bit down and just are on the edge of the secondary band, which looks like most of that will squeeze the southern part of our area for 3 or 4 hours. And I'm going to have to go with an enhanced snow accumulation in that area because of that band. By tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at, I think, a sky that turns partly cloudy and quiet. Now, I know you want time to look at your snowfall totals. I'm going to step out so you can look. I've got 1 to 3. Jeremy and I came up with 1 to 3 for North Vernon, for Seymour, for Bedford. We're going for 3 to 5 from Paoli, Madison, through the northern edge of Louisville. And southern Louisville, we're going to keep you in the 4 to 8. That includes Hardinsburg. That includes Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, and Frankfort. And we've got a 6 to 10 inch snowfall south of E-Town, including Litchfield, Munfordville, through around Springfield. And the reason is that secondary band that we're concerned about coming across tomorrow should enhance these snowfall totals here for you. Tonight, we could even see some thunder snow. It's not something we see often. It's on the table. 19 degrees. 100% chance. You know it's going to snow. For tomorrow afternoon, your high temperature comes in at 24 degrees, north wind at 10 to 15. And if you want some warmer weather, well, we've got that for you. We'll go up to 42 by Wednesday. And looking at the later part of the week, we're going to work to get rid of the snow at 54 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Last time you were out there, Jeremy, you kind of iced over quickly. Is it heavier or same?
It let up a little bit since last time, but it looks like it's about to pick up again. 54, the warmest number on here. That's our average high for this time of year, Mark.
I know, I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have one more look at your snowfall totals coming up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, Mark, Jeremy, thanks so much.